Hey guys, it's Mad Friday and welcome back to another Is It Worth the Gold episode, and this time it is the M41B Brazilian Bulldog, which has just been released. This is a Tier 8 American Premium Light Tank. It's in the store right now for 7,000 gold. You get this tank, some premium ammunition, and that's about it really, and an ASOP, which you get 1 day of premium and 100,000 silver for completing. As you see the tank, it has one camouflage and some emblems. Let me just show you quickly. Customize. Emblems and camouflage are unavailable. This camouflage works as camo for all 4 slots, so you get the camouflage with it too. Right, before I go into the tank, I'm just going to show you a little bit of gameplay. I'm not going to say anything at the start, but watch the gameplay and see if you can watch and see the mistake I made with this tank when I first set it up.
Ready to fire! Ready to fire on target. They found us! Target locked.
Right, tankers, just a little bit of gameplay there showing you the mistake I made when I first set it up. I just assumed the standard rounds were going to be AP rounds, but they're not. They're a high pen HE round. Yeah, it completely caught me out. And I don't know if the M41 Walker Bulldog fires AP as its standard round, but this one doesn't. Fires HE rounds, but they're high pen HE rounds, so let's have a look at them right now. So after that game I went back into my supplies. It does have normal HE rounds, but the better HE rounds are 95 silver, more money, so I'm not going to bother with any standard HE rounds, not for 95 silver. I've just stuck a load of standard high pen HE rounds, HEP rounds they're called, and 20 heat rounds just for getting through the front of things like a Jag Tiger, which I was shooting at in that other game. Yeah, so that caught me out a little bit. Is it going to be a problem? Well, no, I don't think so. If you're happy just firing HE and doing splash, it's not too bad. You can still clock up some damage. Use the occasional heat round, it is going to soak up some of your profit. But it still makes really good money, even if you don't do a huge amount of damage. With the first couple of games I've had in it, it's going to take me a while to get used to it, but I'm still clearing 50-60,000 silver after firing a load of heat rounds, so that's not bad. I just slung standard consumables on it. Equipment, I went for a rammer, vents and optics. It's got 400 meter base view range, so vents and optics, it's way over the spotting cap, so I should be able to spot pretty much everything at the maximum 445 meters without the need of binocular telescopes. Anyway, so that's that. Just going into the basics of the tank. Only has 975 hit points. You have less than a tier 8 tank destroyer, but then it is a light tank, and the idea is not to get hit in the first place. Top speed limit is 72 kilometers an hour. It will get there, but it does take a while. It's not the fastest of light tanks, especially not in terms of acceleration with 405 horsepower engine. Chassis rotation is excellent at 56 degrees a second, and turret rotation is 50 degrees a second. I think with this tank the key to it is going to be singling out enemy tanks and getting around the back of them and using your HE rounds to do a lot more alpha damage than you would do with splash or a heat round from the front. Rate of fire is damn good at 9.5 rounds a minute for a 90mm gun to do that. That's quite a lot of DPM, but then if you can't get your HE shells to pen, some of that DPM is going to be negated by the lack of penetration and only doing splash damage. Like I said, 400 meters view range, which is brilliant. Camouflage value is only average. It does camo works on this fine, I think. Or maybe that's a bit of an underestimation. I've been sat next to tanks that have been getting shot at, and I've been shooting at the tanks they've spotted, and not getting spotted myself, so it is pretty good. It's a light tank. The camo value will hold up. The armour, not a lot. 75mm guns will overmatch the sides, and any gun's going to overmatch the rear really, but 75mm guns will overmatch the side of the hull and the sides of the turret and the rear of the turret, and you're going to need a 105 to overmatch the front of this tank. But it's still, a lot of tanks are going to be able to pen this with HE, and so like I said, the idea of this tank is to not get hit in the first place. Right, so there we go. There's a bit about the tank. This is not a review. This is an is it worth the gold. It's cost 7,000 gold. You got a load of premium rounds and the base tank and an ASOP. So is it worth it? Well, let's watch a bit more gameplay and then we'll decide afterwards.
We've got enemies in the area. Take them down or capture their base.
Right, here we go, tankers. This was my second game in the, I was going to say Walker Bulldog. It's not. I've seen too many Walker Bulldog videos. The Brazilian Bulldog. Someone can let me know in the comments about the Walker Bulldog. What is standard ammunition in? That would help me out. Saves me having to trawl around and have a look. Anyway, here we go. It's the speed. The engine's not the most powerful. Like that recent BTS3 that came out, it's got more horsepower than this and probably weighs a lot less. But it's still got enough power to whiz around quite quick. Also, from watching back the videos, I think I should change my equipment setup. It does have 400 meters base view range, so with a few cruise skills and vents, and possibly a premium consumable, if that's what you like to do, I'm probably going to change out the coated optics for Vert Stabs Mark II. The aim time does feel quite long on this, especially for a light tank, and I think that will help the gameplay, especially if you're more of an active light tank player rather than, you know, sit in a bush light tank player. And I think that's what this tank is going to be good at. It's definitely an active scout, really. It's got the speed, it's got the manoeuvrability, it's got a 90mm cannon, which seems to work quite well. Even though it does have HE rounds for its standard rounds and caught me out massively in my first game. Anyway, right, on to the game. I'm just hanging around here. I'm trying to snipe these turrets, but I think it's more my own aim than the tank's fault what I'm missing. So we hit one there, over 300 damage with a 90mm cannon. When they hit and they pen, they hit quite hard for a light tank. And this 12T is going to find out, is he? No, missed him. We will see him again later on.
Target acquired.
So I'm still trying to help out the guys on the island in the middle. However, I'm not doing particularly well. There we go, that's the HE splash. That was only a light tank and we did 100 damage. As you saw in the other gameplay against things like VKBs, there's a very good chance of doing 0 damage with your splash, and against the VKBs, probably 30 is going to be quite a good number against some of their thickest armour. But anyway, so you're going to have to pick your targets quite well in this thing and try and let the harder targets for the higher tier tanks. Well, not the higher tier tanks, the tanks with the higher pen guns.
Ready to fire on target.
See with the optics there, we are picking up some assist ribbons. Right, so I've been mucking around with third person view lately, trying to sneak shots in what I would normally make using the sniper mode. I'm getting some success with it, however I am missing a lot of shots as well, so I need to practice that.
Focus on this area.
we go, that hit, and it did nothing. I hit his gun mount. Look, that is my own fault for aiming at a tough part. So with these high explosive rounds, you're going to have to be very, very careful with your aim. This kind of doesn't go with being a light tank. If you spend too long out in the open, you don't want to get hit in this thing. But as you'll see in a minute, it is a very, very good late game tank. And I can see why so many people love it on the PC version.
Focus on this location. Looks like that one went right through.
Come in, I expect to pen the back of the KV5 and it doesn't, so I've switched to heat. And the heat goes through. Yeah, I've stock 0 normal HE now. For the difference in cost, was it 95 silver difference in cost? To have double the penetration, I think it's worth that. That may be the difference in penning some of your shots and not penning some of your shots, even against side armour and stuff like that. Just having that bit more pen with the HE round can be the difference in getting a big damage score and not getting a big damage score. Right, so there's that 12T, I won up, HE round, boom, he's done. So if you're playing a game and there's a couple of one or two M41 Brazilian Bulldogs on the enemy team and you're a light skinned vehicle, I think the better players are probably going to single you out. So you need to keep an eye out on the team list. Right, so here we go. That's what I meant about a late game tank. Load up some heat. There's a T34 and a T29 to choose from. I go for the T34 because he's the higher tiered target. Get around his gun but I miss, that was my own fault. I'm probably going to fit vert stabs, that might help. I go too far. He's turning his turret but he's not using his track, so he has absolutely no hope of trying to outrun my tank, even in reverse. Go for the back, and it's a funny angle and it bounces. My own fault. And we take down that T34. Still a T29 left. Can I pick up some more damage? Here he is. Fire, hit him in the engine, set him on fire, and pick up a little bit more damage.
Ready to fire. Great job, man.
Right, so there we go. Not a bad amount of experience, okay amount of silver considering I didn't do that much damage really, and I fired a few heat rounds. Pick up the ace tanker, but like I said, this is the first day of the tank being out. Picking up an ace tanker on today is not really a big achievement. An okay amount of damage and quite a few assist points from the optics, but a lot of fun. The tanks, it is a lot of fun, and for the cost of it, I think the amount of fun you can have, it is really, really worth it. Right, there we go, tankers. Remember, this is not a review video, this is just an is it worth the gold video. I did ace that game, but it's the first day of the tank coming out, so it's not hard to ace a tank, and that's probably not a very well earned one. Anyway, quite a good example of what this tank can do, especially getting around other tanks. That's exactly what you need to be doing with this tank, getting around the backs of them, trying to pen with your HE on their weakest armour. Sides and rears of the tank is going to be your key to getting the big damage scores in this thing. I'm still getting used to playing it, but this is one of the few tanks that I'm glad I spent a lot of my own real world money on buying. It's going to be a fun little tank. It's got the gun depression, the gun's okay, the mobility is excellent, and for 7,000 gold it's one of the cheaper tier 8 premium tanks, and it's going to make you some money and give you a lot of fun playing it. Right, so there we go, quick episode done. M41 Brazilian Bulldog, is it worth the gold? Well, I expect all of you knew what the M41 Walker Bulldog was like. I don't know the difference between the guns between the two, whether the Walker Bulldog used AP or not. If it did, that'll be the only difference really. I expect a amazing little tank and well worth the price for a tier 8 premium tank. Right, there we go guys, hope this episode gives you enough information to decide whether you're going to spend your own money on buying one of these. all I can say is I'm glad I've bought it, and I will be playing it quite regularly. Right, cheers guys, thanks for watching the episode. Please give it a like if you did, please sub if you're not, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.